Okay, we're live on YouTube, but I'm just waiting for quorum. Jamie, so you know, we need one more member right now. We should be okay. I only had Sean sent his regrets, so we should be good for quorum. We have quorum now, Jamie.
Okay, great. I'll turn on my microphone. Thank you. So can we call the meeting to order at 12:03? Resolve that, yeah, so 12:03, I'm gonna write that down. All right, so the first, oh, that pen doesn't work. Sorry, I've got my agenda here. So adoption of minutes is the first item on the agenda. Resolve that the minutes of the Municipal Heritage Committee meeting of May 10th, 2022 be approved. Do we have a mover for that motion?
I'll move. It's Nicole.
Oh, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole.
I'll second. It's Alicia.
Oh, thanks. Great. Okay. The agenda item number 2 is declaration of pecuniary interest. We have hearing none. We can move on to adoption of the agenda. Resolve that the agenda for Municipal Heritage Committee meeting for June 1st, 2022 be presented as approved. Do I have a motion for that? A mover, sorry.
I'll move.
And Matt Shoemaker seconded. Thank you, Matt. And Virginia, do you have business arising from the agenda or the minutes?
Yeah, so item 4.1 is first up.
Oh, yes, the yard locker designation report. Oh, I'm so glad to see that. Does anybody have any comments on that designation report? There is a motion.
Just before we get too far, there's a few pieces that still need to be added in.
Okay.
As you can see, I needed to reference the property identification numbers because there isn't a specific street address that goes along with that property at this time. They're still working on trying to have a map that I can include in like a site plan. The site plan that I received is actually, it's like a big, huge scale drawing. So it's really hard to embed that into a council report or a designation report. So I've asked our staff up in planning to do a specific site map, which is one of the requirements we have to include in designation reports. So they're working on trying to make that in a version that'll fit on an 8.5 by 11, but still have all the information that's required on there. And then just a few other wordsmithing pieces. So you'll note that it's kind of in draft, and I've got some extra photos and items to hopefully be adding in as we're finalizing it. But I wanted to get it to the committee so that over the summer, as time permits, I can work on finalizing those and hopefully get it to council.
Okay, should we go ahead and put forward the resolution on the yard locker at this time, or do you want to wait until September?
I was hoping to get the resolution, because then once I add the site plan and those other pieces in, the bulk of the information is there. So if the committee's, comfortable with proceeding with the designation based off of what's been presented, that would be great.
Okay, so resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Municipal Heritage Committee approves the draft designation report for the yard locker located on Huron Street. And then there's property identification numbers, and the report be finalized and recommended for designation under Part 4 of the Ontario Heritage Act, and further that a report be sent to City Council to request their approval to proceed with the designation. Do I have a mover for that resolution? If Nicole has her hand up. Thanks, Nicole. And a seconder, please.
I'll second that.
Alex, sorry. Caitlin, we'll get you on the next one. Thanks, Alex. All right. So is that good, Virginia?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
So then 4.2 is 119 Woodward designation. And the document is attached to your agenda. So the motion is resolved that the Sault Ste. Marie Municipal Heritage Committee approves the draft designation report for 119 Woodward, and that the report be finalized and recommended for designation under Part 4 of the Ontario Heritage Act, and further that a report be sent to City Council to request their approval to proceed with the designation. Do we have a mover for that one?
Before we get to that, I think we need to vote on the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't call for. So Virginia, for 4.1, should I just ask for objections, or should I, a vote for those who object or for those who approve?
You can ask for all in favor. Carried, and then if anybody's opposed, they can either note that verbally, or they would just need to note it verbally, and then I can keep track.
Okay, you're right. I forgot about that. Thank you, Matt. I'm going to sneeze for a minute. Just a minute. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, so could we call for approval? Vote everyone who's in favor of the motion for 4.1 that we didn't vote on. And Alicia's hand is up. There we go. Thank you, everybody. That's great. It's good that there's more than one parliamentarian here. So are we, for 4.2, are we looking for someone to move the resolution that I've already read?
Did anybody have any questions?
Are there for 4.1 or for
4.2?
4.2, sorry. Are there any questions?
I'll move that.
Oh, and Dean's going to move it. Thanks, Dean. Caitlin, do you want to second that one? Okay, Caitlin is seconding. All in favor? Including me? Sorry, I had to put my hand up. Alicia's hand is up. Alex's hand is up. Okay. And I saw Dean again. Are there any questions about 4.2? I know I asked that already, but just giving people a second opportunity. Okay. So Virginia, my question is, are those those are the remaining designation reports that are active at this time?
We still have the request from 54 Summit. So Alex has done background research
Ooh,
Now it's a matter of taking all of that, pulling it into an actual designation report, getting the site plans and everything added in. So hopefully over the next little while, we'll be able to start working on it. June is a challenging month in our department. We've got events pretty much every weekend and week-long events with Summer Moon. So it's probably going to end up being a July task because I don't have Bradley's assistance at this point. He's full-time at the Old Stone House. So
okay,
yeah, we don't have that support now, but that will be something that will be on the radar.
okay, great. Does anyone have any additional business arising from the minutes?
Um,
Go ahead.
there was just the update about the Algonquin property and the work that was completed there.
Oh, yeah, sorry, you are absolutely correct, Nicole. I thought that should have been on here. I don't know why it didn't save.
Okay, so we'll make that 4.3 then.
Yes, yeah, and we'll have to have as the agenda as amended. So
Okay,
I'll have to do an update on there. Thanks, Nicole. I don't know why that wasn't. Yeah, so Algonquin property. I'm going to bring up two documents. So Nicole, you went with Alex, correct? So I'm going to share my screen. I just got to find the right. You'll just give me a second. Okay, so I'm just sharing my screen. This is the information that from when you did the inspection. So I don't know, Alex or Nicole, if you want to quickly speak to some of the items.
All you, Nicole. I got your back.
All right. So there were two companies that were working on the property. You have the painting that was being done on the front windows on the next page down. That work looks great. It's all good. The only issues that we were seeing was with sort of the brickwork. Now, there was some spalling on the bricks and mortar missing in places. Those were sort of the big issues that had to be addressed. And so it appears that there were some places where the mortar was fixed. However, a lot of the spalling, I think in one section, they did replace one brick. However, you could see in the top left-hand picture, they didn't end up replacing those bricks there. And they did place some mortar, but it seems they were missing gaps in the mortar. So I'm not sure what the company was doing, but there were big parts missing. I do have pictures that I took from the visit that Alex and I were on to sort of corroborate those things. You can see where they fixed some areas, but then did leave still some gaps. So I'm not sure what we want to do with that. If we want to maybe get the property to contact the company and see if they can I don't know, get that resolved, because it was in the quote that they gave, it was saying that they were to fix the mortar and the spalling and replace those bricks that were spalling, and they didn't do that.
So these are the pictures.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I was just going to jump. What date did you guys go on?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
These are the pictures that were sent over yesterday for the section. So this was the one section that they were working on. I know and they have ongoing issues with a couple of the sections. And then this was another section that they were focused on. So can everybody see my screen now?
Yep.
Are you seeing color photos?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm going to share a different screen with you, sorry.
Okay.
So this is what was sent over. So this is the one section I think you were referring to. You had a close-up of this lower portion here.
Yeah.
And then they've got the drain spout that comes in, and then it hits a splash pad and then hits that other little runoff thing. And then this was another section that they did some work on in this area.
Yeah, that section looked okay.
So that section was good.
Mhm.
So I know this was an area that they spent time in, and then they did do a few pieces across the front panels in here.
We could tell on that front section there that they did fix. However, in the bottom right hand of that wall, on just sort of the very lower level of bricks, there were chunks of mortar missing still, which seemed odd because they had fixed those bricks. You could tell there's sort of, you could see sort of the mortar splotches on there, the little white blotches on the wall, on sort of right where your cursor is. But they lower down and more to the right, they missed sections of mortar, which seemed odd.
So what I tried to do is I tried to overlay the first initial photos with the next to a photo kind of in color that was done before. So these were photos of the original. And then this is the photos kind of now. I don't know if I can zoom in even more. So in the sections here, you can see, I think these is where the bricks, they had missing bricks previously.
Yeah, so they fixed
of
the
this section.
spalling in the bricks there. So all the bricks, they replaced the ones that were damaged. However, there was still some issues with the mortar in that section. And then the only other thing for that corner was where they have the pipe. The pipe is sitting sort of on just around a little concrete pad.
Mhm.
And the only concern was sort of the pipe doesn't quite reach the splash pad, so it has a chance to, like, it won't the water won't flow into the splash pad. It will just flow off the concrete section and then pool in the corner where there's some mortar missing, so there could be some more water damage in that corner. So the only thing would be to add just a small, maybe like 4 to 6 inch section on the end of that pipe, just to avoid that water pooling in the corner.
So I guess would it be fair to state that the majority of the work was completed with a few minor deficiencies?
Yes.
Are there any other comments or discussions?
Not regarding Algonquin. The other property on that inspection was 36 Herrick, and we just didn't hear back from the owners, I think, right, Virginia?
Correct. Yeah, she was still trying to make the final arrangements. She hadn't been able to get the contractor. She was hoping to have the work done this spring, but she wasn't able to have it completed yet. So that one will have to wait until September, which I did let her know that if I hear sooner, we can send you guys out at some point this summer once it's done, and then we can include that in the September agenda package, hopefully.
So Virginia, do we need a resolution for the Algonquin property?
Yes. Yep, so it would be resolved that the Municipal Heritage Committee approve the grant in the amount of $3,000. And then, and I can include that, I could follow up with them just to point out some of the minor deficiencies.
Okay. Do you want me to call for a mover for that motion, or do you want to read it back?
I'll read it back.
Okay, sorry.
Resolve that the Municipal Heritage Committee approve a grant in the amount of $3,000 and a report back to the property owner identifying some minor concerns. Be prepared.
Okay. So I'll call for a mover for that motion. And Virginia, Nicole's hand is up. Thanks, Nicole. And a seconder, please. Alex has his hand up. Perfect. Thank you. All in favor? And Dean's hand is up. I see Matt. Thank you. I see Caitlin, Nicole, Alicia. Very good. Thanks, everybody. Alex. So have we reached the end of business arising?
Oh my God.
Yes.
And do you want to note in the minutes that we're deferring 36 Herrick from?
I don't think so because no, that one
Wasn't on the agenda, so.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. So the next item is subcommittee / task force updates. 5.1 is doors open. And we have a meeting this week, on Thursday, don't we, Virginia?
Yes. Yeah, we have a working group meeting.
Which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't believe June 1st of June. What do we want to say about doors open? We're getting a number of confirmations from people. We're going to send them a letter. We're going to draft a letter. That's the next step, to go out to the participants.
We've narrowed down a date for the event too.
Yeah, the 30th of September and the 1st of October. Yeah, we've chosen a date. Thank you, Nicole. A Friday and a Saturday this year. Yeah, I'm not sure. We're going to have a mix of virtual and in-person tours. The two that are exciting are the ones that I can't wait to see are the Canal District is going to partner with the Algoma Conservatory. That also includes the Northwest Company Lock. So they're going to, and that will be probably an outdoor tour, mainly looking at the architecture and the lock and all. It's going to be, and they're also both planning on virtual components of their tours, a virtual tour of the loft and a virtual tour of the machine shop, I think, because both sites have weddings that are scheduled for that weekend. So they're not going to want, the public trooping through spaces, but there will be virtual options. So it's exciting. It's going to be fun to see how this goes. And then, unless there are questions about doors open, we can talk about 5.2. And I'm just bringing up my email. Virginia sent an email this morning that had a new document. Virginia, did you want to bring that up on your screen? Or?
Yep, I'm going to bring it up. Are we? Sorry.
5.2. I really liked the document that you circulated. So it'd be interesting to work with that this coming year. Okay.
Can everybody see the screen okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, there's not too many significant change, or well, there's a few additions and changes. I'll just kind of go over them. The document has to be in this format. I couldn't show the markup, otherwise it wouldn't be considered, it wouldn't have been accessible. So essentially the award description stays the same. The definitions of arts and culture are the same. One of the changes that we did make under the criteria was we had discussion in the past about the volunteer component. We did look at a number of other communities to see how they defined it and how they did their awards. So we did add in some more detail in each of the criteria. So under previously it was a heritage property where owners have made an outstanding contribution to conservation and restoration. But we added in some more language around here to better describe it. As well, the addition, and for the one of addition to a historic property, we added in more language just describing what that meant as far as the infill being sensitive to the historic context of the property of the neighborhood, and that, you know, they're looking at adaptive reuse and really focusing on that outstanding preservation of the heritage property. A lot of the times when infill happens at a existing build, so an example of, you know, that would have been the machine shop location. You know, they were very sensitive when they built the train station, that it felt like it was part of the site. You know, the materials that they chose, all of those things, it was very thoughtful to make sure that it blended and felt like it, even though it was new construction, it was cohesive with the entire development. So, you know, wanting to make sure that we did a better job at describing those criteria. And the one major addition was the fourth bullet point. Who has an outstanding volunteer contributions to education, advocacy, awareness, and recognizes the development and or delivery of programs, activities, or curriculum-based local history material, and engages students in exploring the diverse history of the region. We have provided awards in the past for individuals who have really focused on that intangible heritage piece, where they're educating and sharing stories about culture and history. So it was really just to do a better job of describing what that looks like so that people understand what that intangible heritage component means if they're looking at nominating somebody for this award. Under the nomination process, really we just shortened the number of bullet points. We found that some of it was a bit repetitive, so we took out any of that repetition just to, you know, make it very clear and concise. The other major change was the date. Previously, it had been October 31st. We bumped it to October 15th, and one of the reasons we chose to do that was if we want to have this at the November meeting of the Municipal Heritage Committee, an example would have been this year, November 31st deadline fell on the Tuesday. The very first meeting in November is the 1st. So we wouldn't have been able to even look at the applications until the December meeting. So we wanted to bump that up so that we know we'll always be able to discuss it in November so that we can get it to council and begin preparations in December for Heritage Week awarding of it. Notification stayed the same. So really then the next changes happened in the application form, and really the only thing that we did here was remove the word limits because we indicate that they can attach additional information. So we may as well let them, you know, give as much information as they feel is necessary. It also helps us as committee members to get a full understanding of the scope and what those contributions have been. So we didn't see that we needed to keep a word limit on it. So that was removed. And we wanted to make sure that they're in their descriptions addressing one or more of the criteria that are outlined above. So that statement was added into the first bullet point.
Hmm.
Does anybody have any questions or comments?
So the my only comment, it does, you know, its reality is that this doesn't dictate that there has to be an award given every year. And it's not necessarily an annual award. And then the other reality is that there could be multiple awards given out at a time.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so that's okay. I like it. No, I think it's good. Who was working on this policy with you, Virginia? It's well done.
Myself, from staff, myself, Alicia, Bradley, and then committee members were Harvey, Caitlin, correct me, who am I missing right now? Nicole?
Yeah, well, that's really well done. I really like it. So great. Do we need to, is there a resolution that we need to approve this or anything, or is it a deal?
There is, yes, there is a resolution because it is a change. So
Okay.
it's under 5.2, if you can see it. If
Oh,
not,
you're right. I'm back to my agenda. Okay, resolved that the Municipal Heritage Committee approve the recommended changes to the Municipal Heritage Award criteria and application form. So I need a mover for that. Matt has his hand up, and Caitlin, did I see your hand up too? Okay, great. We have Caitlin as the seconder for that one. Excellent. So we're all ready for our October nominees. That's awesome. Are there any other subcommittee task force updates, Virginia?
just a bit of an update on the Heritage Register. So I've been working with our IT department to continue to improve the search features and how we list properties. So we're pretty close to getting that up on the website. So it's going to be much more, instead of it just being a static document, it's going to be a much better layout. You can actually search the property, see it in the listing, and then drill down into more detail on that particular location, as opposed to it just being a chart. So that's underway. So that's, yeah.
Okay. Are we going to be talking to some of the property owners?
I am hoping to try to start to get that set up as time permits.
Is it realistic to do that in the summer, or
I think so.
okay. No
Like I said, once I get through June.
I don't want to pressure you or anything, but yeah, okay, great. As soon as the splash pad is open, you can start thinking about other things.
Oh, that would be, yeah, I've got a lot of others.
Okay. So are we ready for item number 6, new business?
Yes, yep.
Okay, so we've moved on to new business. Does anyone have anything to bring up for new business? And hearing none, item 7 is correspondence. Virginia, there hasn't been any, I guess.
Excuse me, Jamie.
Yeah, so sorry, Dean, go
I
ahead.
think we need to have a show of hands for our last resolution.
Oh, did I not call that either? All right, so we're going back to 5.2. Thank you, Dean. The Heritage Award vote that I didn't call. So all those in favor of that one. Sorry.
Like it's unanimous.
I
Yeah.
see every hand.
The chair's earned a summer holiday.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay. So we've whizzed through new business and correspondence. Oh, and there are no meetings in the summer. So our next meeting is in September 7th. Wow. So I have adjournment at 12:35. Resolved that the committee now adjourn. Would I have a mover for that motion? Dean has his hand up, and a seconder would be Matt, who also has his hand up. Thanks everybody for staying on camera so I can see you better. So that's great. Okay, thanks, Virginia.
Oh, we need all in favor, Jamie.
And we need all in favor to adjourn. Absolutely. See you all in September, if not before.
Have a good summer.
I see before. It's definitely in this week with the Doors Open committee. Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie.
You're welcome. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for all your work.